What's up guys, my name is Go501 and today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Not too different, just a little bit different. I have been working on many different videos for the past couple days. Most recently I've been doing WWE because that's the one that's been getting the most support recently. So I wanted to focus on that, and then Tribe's Aerial Assault became a thing. I have to do another video on that. I a couple days ago I posted the first video and they got a ton of support. Tons of support, so I'm gonna have to come back to that series, and then I brought a bunch of other games to the channel. So today is Tuesday, April 4th, and it's 8:40 right now. I don't have school tomorrow because of some what's it called? SAT testing for juniors, so I don't have to come into school tomorrow. But so I'm just gonna I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna sit back, kick my feet up, do something like that, and react to some videos, preferably Veggietale Sins. And if you don't know what Veggietales is, it's kind of like a religious show on beliefs on God, showing you a difference between what is right and wrong, whether you should do it this way or you should do it God's way. I personally like it because it's a cartoon, but I usually just watch this show from time to time whenever I'm editing videos or when I'm bored editing videos. I just go ahead and pop one on. So when I heard Veggietale Sins, I wanted to watch them, and everything wrong with Where's God When I'm Scared was preferably my favorite one so far. So I'm gonna react to possibly 2 of these, maybe 3 if they're really short. So let's go ahead and get into this. Everything wrong with Where's God When I'm Scared in 10 minutes or less. Spoilers.
Talking vegetables? I'm pretty sure that's witchcraft. Okay, so I know I just said that they were vegetables, but if you want to be specific, both tomatoes and cucumbers are technically fruit. I'm not saying this to correct myself, I'm just pointing out the fact that a show called Veggietales is hosted by fruit. But I guess that's an easy mistake. It's not like they have something crazy like bacon on the show. Oh wait. Larry's wide open smile as the show opens.
Welcome. Today we've got a letter from Lucy Anderson.
The letter is big. I know that makes the scale seem a bit more accurate from an actual letter a child wrote to a tomato, but this is the only time this ever happens on the show.
Yeah, that definitely deserves a sin. Why did they just stop creating those giant letters? Because that makes the show a bit more accurate. You know what I mean? Because an actual child writing a letter to a tomato, the letter's gonna be gigantic. And now later on, they're just showing like plain pieces of paper. Like that one put some epic work in, and now they're just showing pieces. No.
Bob and Larry.
Although Bob is reading the letter, you can hear the child's voice speaking it. Again, this is the only time in the show that this happens.
What do you mean online videos don't count?
Monsters in my closet.
Wow, that child's voice is pretty monotone, even for a 6-year-old. Ooh. When Bob announces a video, Larry bends down on where the camera panned on Bob, and Larry stares down at what we can only assume is Bob's butt. If tomatoes have butts, which they don't. What the crap is he staring at?
His backside, I guess?
Your shadow says Short Scallion, but your voice says Jimmy Gord. Also, they are anthropomorphizing their machines in this world too, apparently. That is clearly a face.
Oh, I see it!
Not Jimmy Gord tells Frankensalary not to go near the door just as he opens the door. Why does Frankensalary do this weird waddle walk when everybody else on the show hops around? The camera pans off the TV and onto Junior as we hear a voice in pain. What exactly is Frankensalary doing to that person? Vegetable? Fruit?
Tickling them, or something. Probably age appropriate.
Junior Asparagus is clearly taking some pretty powerful hallucinogenics in order to have such vivid hallucinations. Breaking and entering. Did Bob and Larry just break through the ceiling?
Yes.
And if so, where are the scraps of wood and shingles and stuff that would come?
Oh wait, I don't think they technically fell through the roof. They practically just teleported through the roof. If they did break through the roof, that would be breaking and entering. However, this I don't think is like technically breaking and entering, because breaking and entering is just technically like beyond the laws of child, like age appropriate for children. So Yeah.
With
They,
it.
I'm Bob. I'm a tomato, and I'm here to help you.
Bob claims he's here to help, but he does know what he's doing is breaking and entering, right? Even if he didn't magically come from the ceiling.
We couldn't help but notice that you were just a little bit frightened, so we thought we'd drop in and help.
Did you hear that? Bob and Larry couldn't help but notice a 5-year-old boy in his own house was a little bit frightened. I'm pretty sure there's some illegal activity going on here. You know, aside from the breaking and entering.
it's not breaking and entering.
Good tidings of great joy which shall be to all people, for unto you.
Wrong story, Larry.
Unsatisfied with simply breaking and entering, now they are breaking the fourth wall.
Nope.
How are they breaking the fourth
Junior
wall?
says he's not scared, even though we clearly saw him scared. I know this isn't a sin on the movie's part, but that is a sin on Junior's part. I mean, lying is still one of the 10 Commandments, am I right?
Oh, we were just gonna sing you a little song. But since you weren't even scared, I guess we'll just be on our way.
Bob and Larry clearly know that Junior is scared, so they're just kind of messing with him in this scene.
Sing the song.
Junior's demands for them to sing would only later be one-upped by Mr. Nezer and Rack, Shack, and Benny. How are they controlling the lighting in this scene? And who's making the music in the background? Song. If Bob
Song,
and Larry
you
are
shouldn't give a
truly trying to
sin
help
on a
Junior get over
song.
his fears, why are they starting out with a creepy-sounding song? I know it gets more upbeat and happy later on, but that's only later on. Again, they're messing with a 5-year-old kid. Whose eyes are those anyway? Are they just floating eyeballs, or are those actual monsters in the closet? In which case, wouldn't that give Junior reason to be afraid?
That is totally right. Why would you put floating eyeballs in the closet when you're trying to help someone conquer their fear of, being scared? That would give Junior a reason to be scared.
That Godzilla in the hall.
How can Godzilla fit in a hall? He's a giant friggin' monster who's bigger than Junior's whole house.
Yes, he's bigger than Junior's house.
Who exactly is this hairy creature, and how is he casting shadows on the wall? How are the tiny monsters phasing through a door? Are they using the same magic that Bob and Larry used to come from the ceiling? Also, Veggietale's poster near the pajama cabinet.
So you're saying God's the biggest of them all, and he's on my team?
God doesn't choose teams. If two people fight, he doesn't root for one of them. Or is he talking about the battle against Satan? He didn't clarify that, so this could be kind of confusing for a younger audience.
Oh, by the way, there's someone else who wants to meet you.
Was Frankensalary just waiting on the roof of the house the whole time for Bob to cue him to come in? This is the same sound effect used from when Junior was hallucinating about his family portrait. Because using cliched stock sound effects once wasn't enough. Song. It's the same song as the last one. Where did Bob, Larry, Frankensalary, and the monsters go? Were they just in Junior's head this whole time? Was that Veggietale's poster in the background supposed to suggest that in this fictional story, in the fictional universe of Veggietales, Veggietales exists as a fictional show? I don't really know if that's worth giving a sin or taking a sin away, so I say we just leave the sin count where it is. Extra sin for not having a sin for the Water Buffalo song.
Oh, come
Judging
on!
by this scene, as well as the events of The End of Silliness, we can assume that Archibald has at least some sort of a creative control over silly songs with Larry. And if that's the case, and if he really does oppose the Water Buffalo song as much as he acts like, why did he ever let it get this far into production in the first place? Even if you made the argument that maybe Veggietales is supposed to be filmed live, there still are rehearsals for live shows, are there not? Was Archibald just not there during those rehearsals? Archibald sucks at his job.
Right! Yeah, right! He has a point! This guy has a really good point. If Archibald does not like the silly songs with Larry, why in the heck did he ever let it get this far into production? Because that show, well, not that show, that segment brings out a lot of fans, and it brings out a lot of money. So he could have just replaced the silly songs with Larry sooner, so that it wouldn't be this far and made the top thing in the franchise. You know what I mean?
Long, long ago, in a faraway land,
Narration. Also, who exactly is this narrator? I mean, basically every other character from this episode has returned in later episodes, except for the narrator. And why couldn't Bob have done the narration? I mean, he's not in this story, so he could very easily have done the narration. He is the host of the show, after all, isn't he?
Practically Bob and Larry are.
I see they took the easy route and just chose to reuse Mozart for their song. King Darius demands an interpretation of his dream from his three wise men and gets angry when they don't give him one. But why is he getting angry in the first place? He never gave them any of the details of the dream. They just got there. Unless they're supposed to be psychic or something, which is never brought up. So I think this is a sin on King Darius's part. Daniel squashes his face against the camera, and yet the camera itself does not move from its original position.
Well, you can't blame that.
We interrupt this song to bring you more narration. So
You can't
Daniel
blame
is able
that
to
either.
explain the dream to Darius, and we can assume by this footage that Darius is giving him the details of the dream. Doesn't that kind of give Daniel a bit of an unfair advantage over the other three wise men, since they literally knew nothing about Darius's dream at all?
No, because it doesn't really matter, because the wise men couldn't give any details of Darius's dream to begin with. So the wise men bring out Daniel, and Daniel is able to give the details of Darius's dream, but they're mad that David got the second in command job because each one of them wanted to be second in command. So they're not mad about what happened. They're mad at Daniel for taking their spot.
You see, each one of them wanted to be second in command.
But there's three of them. Did each of them want to be number two more than the other two? Or do all three of them think that they can just share the number two spot? Ah, so I see that Frankensalary isn't the only one who does a waddle walk. But still, aside from Frankensalary and this one scene, this is the only time that any vegetable or fruit in any episode of Veggietales does a waddle walk. Song. Again.
And it just might work.
If all three of them knew what the other ones were going to say, why didn't they all just say it in unison? Or for that matter, why didn't just one of them say it?
What's your point?
Maybe they are psychic.
Oh my god, if they were psychic, they would have gave the details of Darius' dream. Daniel would not be in the story, and the wise men would just be second in command. They should have just done that earlier.
Very next morning.
Narrator again. Third time, by the way. Song. Again. This is a musical, apparently. Do any of the characters on the show have knees? And a lot of the characters, like Bob for example, are nothing but a head.
So the law was passed.
Oh, now the narrator gets a song.
Even when he knew it could get him in trouble.
Did you say trouble?
Boy, that is one flimsy fourth
See,
wall.
now
that you
that's the
continue to
fourth
break.
wall. That is the fourth wall. Not whatever bullcrap Larry was doing in the junior story. No. That is breaking the fourth wall.
The smallest wise man has to carry Daniel from his backside, with his head. I'm pretty sure that's heightsist.
Yes, but it's, I can see my house from here.
No, you cannot. You were just carried away from your house for what we can only assume was about a mile or so. You're facing away from the direction where you came. You're not on a mountaintop or anything like that. You're not being elevated much, if at all, by being carried by the scallions. And on top of that, you are facing a pit of lions. You do not see your house.
Goodbye. Don't I get a phone call?
Phone call in BC Babylon? I don't know why Daniel would be afraid of being eaten by lions after surviving a fall like that. He's clearly invincible.
You would die if you fell from that high.
Lion puns.
Lions are gonna lie on you? They're gonna eat them. They're not gonna lie on them.
Well, maybe they're gonna lie on him, then eat him.
Or maybe they'll choose to lie on him after he's dead. Or maybe even lie on top of him in order to kill him.
Oh no, what am I gonna do? It looks like I'm gonna end up as lions too.
Daniel's song is just a variation of the song that the wise men sang.
Oh no, what we gonna do?
It is.
Daniel more than me and you.
Don't cry, Daniel.
The narrator's singing, again. Where
There's no
exactly
problem with
is
that.
hole? Is it the same hole that the wise men just covered with a rock?
Oh my god. No! The rock that the wise men covered with the rock is a circle shape. Okay? Circle. That rock not that rock. That hole has cutting edges on it. It is not the same hole.
And if that is the case, why didn't Daniel just climb out? I mean, even if it is a different hole, he still probably could have found a way to get out if he really wanted to.
No hands.
Okay, so the wise men are out partying and having a good time, but where exactly are they? This looks an awful lot like the lion's den to me.
It's
By the
not.
time
It's the
everybody
way that
shows
they
up at the
came
lion's
up.
den, the rock they put in front of the hole has been moved. Who moved it?
See you guys later. Thanks for the pizza.
I had pizza?
Well, now that's just silly. Lions have no opposable thumbs. How could they make the pizza? Unless they called in for delivery on the phones that they clearly had back in BC times. And if they did order delivery, was it the pizza delivery guy who moved the rock out of the way of the pit? Because that would answer one question, but it would raise too many other questions, so we still have to sin this.
Surely your God is above all men.
Dang it, why are there so many songs in this? Oh yeah, I almost forgot this all takes place on a countertop. How do they get all those sets for those stories then? Do they use green screen? And wouldn't that get rid of Larry? So blue screen maybe?
1 pound ground beef, 3 slices of QWERTY, this is a recipe for meatloaf.
I'm sorry, but that's not a recipe for meatloaf so much as just a list of things you will need for meatloaf. It doesn't have any cooking instructions at all whatsoever. Also, recipe for meatloaf? Is that where living food comes from? I thought that when a mother tomato and a father tomato... No, never mind.
Okay, so that's the first video down. I'm probably going to be reacting to just one more. Let's just go ahead and just go and find one. I have it up on the YouTube page. Yeah, so there's a couple. Everything wrong with Josh and the big wall. Everything wrong with the toy that saved Christmas. Larry Boy. No wait, Rack Shack and Benny. Rack Shack and Benny was my second favorite Veggietale show. Well, not show, DVD in the whole series. And the best part about this video is that I don't have to worry about my limit because it's 7 minutes. So, yeah. So let's get this done. Everything wrong with Rack Shack and Benny in 8 minutes or less. Spoiler alert, they are vegetables.
122 seconds of theme song.
I'm Bob the Tomato.
Bob starts the show without the slightest glance to see if Larry was right next to him.
Larry, you've got an oven mitt on your head.
So, last episode he had a shoe on his head and nobody complained.
Yes, stop complaining.
Well, all the cool people anyway.
Larry outright states that his best friend is not cool.
Hey, that reminds me of a letter we just got from...
This is the first time that one of Bob's letters conveniently coincides with the exact problem Larry is having at the moment.
Where's the letter?
I think we need QWERTY for this one.
Larry would never have thought that if it wasn't convenient to the plot.
I want you to listen to a story about 3 boys named Rack, Shack, and Benny who were in a pickle just like yours.
1, that is racist pickles. 2, a pickle just like yours, because apparently being threatened with a death sentence is exactly the same as possibly losing one friend.
Anything that goes in or out of Nez of chocolate gotta come by me.
Unless they own a vehicle that could easily just fly over the gate. Like
True.
this girl who owns a vehicle that could easily just fly over the gate, but it's polite enough not to. Also, I'm sure the only reason this truck can fly is so the animators won't have to bother with wheels.
Because we work real hard at the chocolate factory. We start at 8 and we don't get lunch till 3.
That's child labor!
Excuse me, Mr. Lunt, but I've got an injury.
Now get back on the line. You'll be just fine.
Mr. Lunt is a cold-hearted individual.
Now there's no time to play, cause we gotta work all day, and it isn't very fun.
Yes, it's just so tiring to just sit back and supervise as a fully automated assembly line does all the work. Rack eats the tables. I'm not buying for a second that Bob Jr. and Larry are the same age in this world, nor am I buying their uncanny ability to hover slightly above the ground. There is no conceivable way for these boxes to close at the bottom without breaking the bunny. I'll give these animators credit, they're the only guys I know who can successfully animate the emotion of dawning fear on an animate confectionery. Can anyone make sense of this final stanza for me?
Someday they'll come and join us.
Who's they? Are they your families that you're sending money to? And if so, what do you mean by they'll come and join us? Will they be working at the bunny factory too? And why is this worth looking forward to?
Okay, so someday they'll come and join us. So I'm gonna guess that this is the time where, let me just move this camera. I'm gonna guess that this in Rack Shack and Benny's time, that in this time period, children are being forced out of their homes and being put into factories for child labor. because as that little girl said, they start at 8 in the morning and they don't get lunch till 3 p.m. So that is child labor. So they're probably being forced out of their homes, taken away from their families, and being put in these factories. And so when the next generation of children come in, and the old generation are gonna retire or something like that, or like they die or something like that, something that will happen to the old generation, then a new generation will come in, they'll be put to work, and the next generation will come in, so forth and so forth.
Yes, but how? What will change when they come to join you?
Nothing.
There's something in the Bible story that wasn't translated very well here.
Every day they make 14,638 of these little fellas.
Even assuming 7-hour days, it's about 2,091 bunnies an hour, or 35 bunnies a minute, or 1 bunny every 2 seconds, which is exactly what the assembly line typically cranks out on screen.
Dude, I ain't got time to do all that math.
Okay, Math, you win this round.
Why, his chocolate bunnies are selling so well, I think he's gotten a little big for his britches.
It's lines like this that make me realize Mr. Nezra is the only one here who's wearing any pants. Disapparating bunnies. Mr. Nezra can afford a big screen extendable television, but can't afford it in color.
Yeah, why can't he afford it in color? That's stupid.
Congratulations, your factory has been open for less than 5 months.
Oh, if I could just see the
5 months? Wait, so let me try to think this through real quick. So the factory was just opened 5 months ago, and they just sold 2 million chocolate bunnies. So maybe for each month there's a new generation of kids to come in. Maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming at this point.
It's called walking out of your office. Has anyone ever heard of not throwing unfinished bunnies into the air for no good reason?
Well, they're hungry.
Enough of Mom's nonsense. Where are these hands going?
They'll go pick up a box.
Thank you, Mr. Nezzer, for your lovely gift of chocolate.
Chocolate.
How would you like your executives?
What's it mean? It means you have to wear a tie.
Jack faces through a pole from nowhere.
Well, what do you know? Rack Shack and Benny did what they thought was right, and it paid off. This time, anyway.
Implying it won't pay off at all the next time.
Should have said that.
It's gonna be a beautiful thing when everybody bows down and sings the bunny song.
Now I guess I gotta address the elephant in the room. The original version of the bunny song included lines such as, I don't love my mom or my dad, and I won't go to church and I won't go to school. Such lines had to be removed in later versions of the episode because children started singing them in public, despite this being the song they weren't supposed to sing. So I could sing the original version for writing such offensive lyrics to begin with, or I could sing the newer versions for replacing the lyrics with such beautiful wham lines as,
I won't eat no beans, and I won't eat tofu.
These hands are holding a box and doing absolutely nothing with it.
That's the furnace.
What's it for?
Well, that's where the bad bunnies go.
Let's just say, in my mind, if you don't bow down and sing the song, you're a bad bunny.
The fact that these guys never take leave
That's
is
murder.
phosphorus threatening murder. See, this is the problem with retelling a Bible story in a modern time period.
What would you do if you were them?
Well,
I would.
I better hold that thought.
then why'd you even ask?
Thank you for attending today's festivities.
Not like I gave you a choice in the matter, of course.
Sing the song. Sing!
Think of me every day.
Nice troll move, guys, but you could just said no when your intention would have been just as obvious.
Oh man.
Every employee lost the bunny emblem on their hats when they planted their faces in the sand.
Oh, I see it.
Rack, I can't move my arms. Benny, you don't have any arms.
Mr. Nezra clips through the pipe. Unrealistically epic fail.
Ah,
I
bruh.
suppose we can't use these vats of chocolate anymore. Way to waste valuable resources in the name of killing 3 people who didn't want to sing a song.
You're back.
Well, that chase scene was entirely pointless.
Oh, but look. My truck seems to be full of garbage. Mr. Lund.
This bridge is missing a piece.
I said, nobody bakes my buddies.
No, your exact words.
Can't let you cook my buddies.
You said nothing about anyone else doing it, and in this case, the laws of physics did the deed, not Mr. Nezra.
Yep.
Nobody's ever gonna stand up to me again.
Except for the legal system, if word gets out that you murdered people.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true,
looks
too.
like 4 guys in there now, and one of them's real shiny. One more thing, boss. day ain't burning up.
Here's a good lesson to teach your kids. Stand up for what you believe in and God will grant you complete immortality. Even if somebody throws you into the jaws of death, logic will take a backseat for you to survive with no damage done. Open dual door here, close singular door here, open hall with no door here.
Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?
Well, you could sing one of our...
Larry's wide open smile.
songs.
Because when it's a Christian imposing their songs on people of a different religion, it's A-okay.
To wash behind my ears.
Shaq, you don't have any ears. Every time I see a building dance, I have to wonder what it's like for the poor people inside. Oh yeah, they kind of forgot about George after the silly song, didn't they?
It's not a silly song.
Okay, Larry, do you see that spoon over there? If you stand on that end of it, and I jump onto the other end, it'll fling you out of there, okay?
Okay, but then how do you get out?
Yeah, how do you get out?
Cephalupians. Sicilians. Cephalupians. So Dexter, the next time you go to Billy's house, maybe you could bring one of your favorite videos to watch instead.
Note how he says videos and not TV shows like before. Self-promotion much?
It isn't always easy, but knowing you've done the right thing sure feels good inside.
Sure, or at least until you
It really
become
does.
in a fire for your beliefs, but other than that, good feelings all around.
Okay, there we go. And now, I'm gonna end this video here. So, yeah, this is just a cool down, or however you want to call it, just because I don't want to play or record something else today. So, here's a video for you guys. So, I hope you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, leave a like on this video. Your support means absolutely everything to me. And if you are new to my channel and you want to see more videos like this, subscribe so you don't miss any more. And I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!